Hey everybody, it's Steve here. I just want to thank everyone who has reached out after episode 1, who's reached out to us and said, positive reviews and good things, and everyone who has downloaded it, and we appreciate you guys, we really do. Anyone and everyone, we want you on here. Please reach out to me or Chris. We would love to have you guys on and just have some great conversation. Also, during this episode, I experienced some technical internet difficulties. So at around the 1 hour, 15-minute mark, it's going to sound like it goes from something and then jumps to the next thing. I just want to let you know that was on my end. It's nothing that you're listening to. I apologize for that. I will be better and do better in the future. Thank you again for everyone for listening, and welcome to episode 2. Thank you. Welcome everybody to episode number 2 to Got a Lot on Our Minds. My name is Stevie B. You can find me on Twitter at STOV11890, which is not what I call myself on here. That's fine though. Kells, talk to him. Who are you?
What's going on? I'm Kells. You can find me on pretty much any platform at KELLZ55.
Yeah, follow him. He's a good content creator. Follow him. We also have a very special guest this week. I would like to introduce a blast from the past for me, a friend that I've met I think like over 10 years ago, right?
It's a good amount of years, man.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
It's been
I know him as Travis. I also know him as Goose. He also has many other aliases. He's a very mysterious man.
Yes.
Trav, talk to him, man. Who are you?
What's going on, everybody? This is Travis, aka Goose, from the Boogie Down Bronx, New York. You can find me on Instagram by Originalgoose, or you can find me on Twitter as Nippon Goose Sama. That's NIPPON Goose SAMA. I like to believe in myself as some type of guru or something like that. Yeah, Zen master.
That's dope.
I do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could I ask you, how did the name Goose? Where does that come from?
That's crazy. You know, it's funny because I've had that name since I was like about 5 or 6 years old, and what happened was I was like trying to kick it with my older brother and his friends. And you know, you're that friend that wants to be like, you know, that little kid that wants to be in the know with everybody. So when they were talking, they were kind of dismissing me. And my brother's friend had great news to say. And like, I'm like, they're like, oh. And then I tried it, and he said what he had to say. And I was like, that's Goose, instead of saying that's good. Because I was so like enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So they were like, the whole street stopped. Like everyone stopped. Fire hydrants turned off. This was like in the summertime. Cars stopped.
The record skipped. It's like,
right. And then they were like, Goose? And then that was it. That's it from there.
that's it.
Yeah.
It just stuck.
That's actually a good story.
Cool.
That's dope.
Sometimes that's like some of the best nicknames are the ones that, like, you know, like if you give yourself a nickname, like I'm gonna call myself, you know, the big girly man. Yeah, that. But if you try to make your own nickname, it just doesn't stick. But the ones like that just happen from a funny story or organically, those are the ones that are like your lifetime.
Stick for a lifetime, yeah.
For real, yeah. And it's so funny because some people want to introduce themselves with their monikers.
Mm-hmm.
I introduce myself with my name, you know? So people know me as Goose, but I introduce myself with my name. And then I say, hey, I'm Travis. And they'll be like, oh, what's up? I'm Ghost. And I'm like, and I just walk away. Like, I don't even want to shake your hand. I'm done.
Right. Like in high school, I got the name of Biggie B because I'm a big person and my last name starts with a B. But whenever I meet someone, I don't introduce myself as, hey, I'm Biggie B. Like, it's, hey, I'm Steve. But like to my friends, like if you know me, you know, Chris would be like, yo, Biggie, come over here. I need you. And like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But that sounds like a great radio name though. Like I would listen to you on Hot 97 if your name was Biggie B.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
I'd be like, I have to tune into Biggie
stuff.
B. Yeah.
If I ever can make it back to Hot 97, maybe. It's been a long time since I was there.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel the same way though, because like I feel like I don't introduce myself as Kells either, and I feel like there's a certain point where you have to get to call me Kells kind of thing. Like It's not just like if somebody came up to me and didn't know me and was like, "Yo, Kells," I'm like,
nah.
You gotta earn that. You gotta earn that. But over the years, a lot of people have definitely started to call me that. So it's. But
That's a great name, man. Because I call you C Kells. Like I just enjoy the name in general. Like,
Well,
dope.
I pulled the P Diddy, where back in like high school it started as C Kells, and then I just dropped the C, and it ended up being Kells.
He's still Puff Daddy to me. I don't care.
Okay.
Word.
But how's everything been? What have you been up to? Trav.
I'm good, man. You know, like quarantining, it's a whole different type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, like things are opening up, things are closing back down because they probably shouldn't have opened up.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about like my birthday's right around the corner, so like, what am I even gonna do? I decided to like, it's so funny because like I'm like, yo, I don't know, Chris, if you remember back in the days, you know, Steve, when you came around, like how I'd be like dressed when we like go out to something or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I always needed to know what I'm gonna put on, not planning wise, but just like, yo, I gotta be fresh, I gotta be fly. And mask is the new thing. So I was like, let me make sure I caught myself
Gotta
a dope
match the
ass
mask
mask
with the fit.
So
it's there's designer masks now.
Yeah.
My wife showed me a picture of someone she know, and they had like a Louis Vuitton mask on or something like that. Like,
It's funny because like when this all becomes like a pastime, I feel like that'll just be like not an everyday fit, but it's like one day, like let me wear my mask.
Well, what was the name of that guy who was on Nelly's crew with Murphy Lee and them? He used to wear a mask. I used
City
to thought
Spud?
he was like,
City Spud.
he was the dopest dude on the damn freaking squad, man. Like,
City Spud. He just danced and was like there, but he was like the hype man who didn't say anything, and yeah, he always had like that half a mask on.
oh, it was so dope. It was so
Some
dope.
fan of the opera.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. The Phantom of the Opera, like half of it.
Yeah, word. But that's what
Yeah,
I've been
when's your
doing.
birthday?
Yeah.
That's dope. I had a question for you actually. I noticed on your Instagram you had the link that said what was it? Sorry. Strangers and Candy?
Oh, truth. Yeah. So I was doing copy edit work for an online magazine or up and coming online magazine in London. So like that was something I was doing for a bit of time. Shout out to Alicia. You know, we came up. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hold on. Could I ask a stupid question?
No, go ahead.
In the Reader's Digest version, can you break down to me what copy edit work is?
Word. So basically, somebody would write something. I think Strangers of Candy was more so predominantly about art and fashion, and they would write whatever they did, and I would basically edit if there are any words that need to be changed, or you know, like this line doesn't make sense here. You know, and before we actually uploaded or published it.
That's dope. Yeah, I did some
okay.
I did some creeping and I saw that, went to the website and it looked pretty cool, so I wanted to kind of get a little bit more information. But that's cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure what, you know, I haven't worked with Alicia in a little bit of time because she's been doing so much stuff. Again, shout out to her. But like, you know, I remember when we were coming up with the name, it was because she was here in the Bronx at the time, and before she was going back to London, and like she was like, I want it to be sweet, but like noticeable, and I was like, but at the same time, people are coming together who don't know each other, and I was just like, strangers and candy.
That's fire.
You know? Yeah.
You never take candy from strangers, though. That's how you wind up. I was about to make a really bad joke, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it from there.
Yeah.
Oh man, weed candy's terrible too in New York. I don't trust it. I've been buying it and I don't feel anything ever.
No. So you just keep
it's
popping it, and then like an hour later you're like, damn, I shouldn't have done that much.
Yes, every single time I regret it. That's like my only regrets. I don't have any regrets except those lollipops.
Yeah, you have to give it some time because you think it's not doing nothing. I hear all the stories, and it happens the same way to everybody. They just underestimate it, and then like an hour later they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that much.
Everyone has the same story with edibles.
Yeah.
It's like they take it and like, this ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then they take a little bit more, and then they take a little bit more, and then the next thing you know, you can't move and you're sitting on your couch and you're trying not to have a panic attack.
Bro, those edibles, man. Nah, I don't even try and mess with those, man. I've done it, and like, freaking esoteric world, bro.
Did you have an out-of-body experience?
Okay. I was crossing the street, right? And I felt fine. Dude, people don't realize that edibles don't really hit the mind like regular smoking does. Edibles hits the body, right? So I'm crossing the street and I'm like, I'm fine. And I see a car coming. You know, when you're in New York, you don't really care too much about looking at the the walking sign. You don't get a ticket for that. If there's no cars, you can walk.
No. So New York is walk or like fuck you hit me. I dare you to hit me.
Exactly.
Like, that's New York.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm walking and I see a car coming and I'm like trying to speed up out of the way, and my body's not doing what I want it to do. So like in my mind, I'm like, yo, I know I can move faster than this, but my body's just not doing it.
Body's on sloth mode.
Exactly, man. It was crazy. It was wild. But I made it across, obviously. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. That's crazy. All right. So, now, if when we publish this, like, do you get drug tested at work? I'm not trying to jeopardize, like.
Nah, I don't.
Okay, good.
I don't get drug tested at work, and I'll just say that I took the edible like a night or something like that, which is probably what happened.
Right. Oh, this is a story that's 10 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you doing on Sunday? I went to church and I went to community service. And
been a changed man for quite some time now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I try to keep this a lot lighthearted and funny as much as I can, Yeah. But for you, now we live about an hour and a half north of you.
Yeah.
About 60 miles north of the city. Geographically, we are not like in the upstate part of New York, but we're considered upstate.
But, after Yonkers, it's upstate apparently.
Yeah, but where our region is in a different state of quarantine than where you are, obviously, in the city. You guys are, got hit so hard back in March, April, May. So what is it like down there? Because especially too with you in the quarantine, like you said, you're in the Bronx, so you had the all the protests and the civil rights movements going on down there. Like, has it been just a crazy experience for you? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it has been crazy, and honestly, we were hoping that, and I say we, I mean like the Black community. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to speak for everybody like Al Sharpton does, but
I was on a plane with him once.
Really?
Yeah. I had to walk. Sorry, not to cut you off. I'm walking through the plane. He's sitting in first class, and I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking Al Sharpton.
Right. you would think that you know not to put yourself in first class, Al Sharpton. No, I'm joking. He's earned it, I guess. So basically, we, or at least let me speak from the I was hoping that this was going to be the only thing we had to worry about. Getting through COVID, just quarantining and whatnot. And, I'd be remiss if I don't have this. You guys have given me this platform. Thank you for having me on this show. But I'm gonna just say Black Lives Matter for sure. And
oh yeah, and all day, Black Lives Matter.
And we have to now go out there and protest why we should be treated fairly. And that's not only just with cops, just the justice system in general, and 400 years of going back. I mean, more than that now, of systemic racism and how it impacts our lives every day. We just wanted to quarantine, but now we, that's not the case, So going back to what you were asking, in general, if you want to, especially as a person, a Black person, if you want to try and make a change, you have to go out and protest. Mm-hmm. That whole quarantine now kind of goes out the door, you have to go outside. You have to make it be known that this is what we're going through on an everyday basis. Things that are either going to the news or not going to the news. So basically now we're putting ourselves at risk because we're already at risk for other things.
You're literally putting yourself at risk in a pandemic.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's why are you out protesting? It's like, do you think we want to be out here protesting?
Right. Exactly.
Right. But it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not, I don't even think greater good is the way to put it. It's for equality.
Yeah.
Just equality.
It's not like you want to be above, it's you want to be equal. And that's such a small portion of what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm going to go right into how it's been quarantining and into talk about the next thing I want to bring up.
Yeah.
Is in general, still people are trying to do the whole 6 feet thing, but at the same time, in the city, especially in the Bronx, you have more so blue collar workers. Okay, so like, and then you still have people threatening to, evict you, from like where you're living, which is crazy because like some people don't have work. So now you feel like you're forced to go to work. You're putting yourself again at risk, not only for just protesting, but also just to make a living,
Surviving.
just to put money on, food on the table. You know what I'm saying? So like quarantine is like, I think people are doing it the best they can, but with the little means that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of places the government should step in hard. But I think they can't because of so many things that are in the Constitution. And that's where a lot of people are going, oh, this is unconstitutional. I shouldn't be forced to wear a mask. Those same people are going to say, oh, I shouldn't have to stop charging my tenants due to, the Constitution. That's my right to charge these places, whatever, and make my money. So it's a conundrum all in one, especially in the city. It's not open. It's not that wide. So we're just like all balled up in one spot. And it's possible for anybody to easily get this virus, either protesting, going to work, or just like stepping out of your apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the truth. That's just how it is in New York City right now.
I think it's actually crazy because I've watched like a couple of the like videos from back when the pandemic was starting, and the like, let's say the 1 or 2 train, and you see how many people are packed on it and then you read the comments and it's like everyone's like, oh, why aren't they socially distancing? It's like, you can't because you have to get to work. You're late to work. You might get fired. Like, you have to go through these steps to put food on your table, and you're also like sacrificing a lot to try to do this, to try to stay safe. But there's a lot.
It's a lot, man. It's truly a lot, and it's so crazy. I took a trip to Niagara Falls, just because like I think I've gone out like 5 times since this whole thing happened, just to like get outside. And I figured like the best way to still social distance is to get as far away from the city as possible. So we went to Niagara Falls, and my cousin wanted to see it before she goes back to California. Shout out to Tori. So like we go there, and it's still pretty darn crowded, man. Like, like I put my mask on, like, so I could look over the banister to see the waterfall, but at the same time, like, somebody's like right next to me trying to take pictures without a mask on. And I don't know if it's because I'm so far upstate, like Rochester and whatnot, but like, and I don't know how it is by you guys, but Rochester and whatnot, like, they don't feel like they need to have a mask on. Like, they don't feel like it's, and I'm like, what is going on right now? You know what I'm saying? And they're upset with Cuomo, and I'm listening to them speak. I don't want to give my opinion. I'm not here for a political debate, but it's just like, he's trying to do his best, in my thoughts, to keep these places open at the same time while be safe. So wear your mask. Like, I think there was a lot of places where you were either coming to sit and drink, or you had to buy your drink and eat it and leave. Like, you couldn't do either or. Like, you couldn't buy food and then go and get drinks to leave, something like that. And then they're like, blame Cuomo, and I'm just like, nah, man, it makes sense. Like, you either sitting here or you're leaving. Like, you don't want to be in a vicinity for too long of a period of time. It just makes sense, like that in my thoughts. So, it's wild, and it's not only here. Like, I think Florida is like it's crazy over there. Memphis, taking shots on the beach off of people's bodies without, people don't really care about this pandemic.
I've seen a lot of, like, just being on Snapchat and stuff, I've seen a lot of people who just, I don't know if they just don't care anymore. Like, it's the summertime now, so I got to still live my life, instead of just like sacrificing a little bit of time to hopefully nip this in the bud. And then there's just the people who think it's a hoax, which is, I mean, you can't change that kind of mentality. Like,
people are dying. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. What more proof do you need?
People are dying, but
over 150,000 people have died. So in the U.S. alone. So,
well, yeah. I mean, I could tell you. Rochester's a little bit farther up from us, but for a while, where we kind of lived there, people were taking it for the most part serious. But I would say within like the last 2 to 3 weeks, you go to the grocery store and, people, they're wearing their mask, but it's like below their chin. It's a chin strap. You know what I mean? Like it's not really on.
They're holding their beard up.
We went to Walmart and my wife pointed it out to me. She's like, there's a security guard enforcing people to wear masks, but the security guard is not wearing a mask. Like how? And then like I talked about it in the episode before. I work as a bartender, and then so I'm dealing with the general public all day. And last week, these two guys walk in, and they were like, I was like, yo, you guys, you need a mask to be in here. Verbal debate back and forth, and he's just like, this is bullshit. And I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. Have a good day.
Yeah.
And then now with the latest rule, where you have to, if you order alcohol, you have to have something to eat. And so we explain this to the customers. So obviously, if you work as a bartender, most people that come to the bar want something alcoholic to drink. So you say to them, hey, listen, guys, here's the rule. A bowl of soup constitutes. If you're not that hungry, we can bring you in for a bowl of soup. Costs like $3. It's one of the cheapest things we can give you. That way you're not totally out of pocket here. And it's just a debate back and forth. Like, well, I don't understand why I have to do this. And it's like, bro, because it's hopefully slowing down the spread of this virus, and like just for one summer, for one moment right now, just like it's not about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst part. It's like the selfishness and just not wanting to do a little, or just inconveniencing yourself for a little bit of time. Like I'm out and working in like 90-degree weather with a mask on. I mean, yeah. I'd rather not, but I mean, it's not comfortable all the time. I just put it out of my mind and do what has to be done.
Yeah.
And then there's people who will say that, oh, you're just following your sheep. You're following, like, all right, at some point, if the whole world is just doing this to ruin our economy or whatever other conspiracies there are, then whatever. I guess I'm a sheep.
But you'll be alive.
I'll be alive. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something I wanted to say. Oh, this is good. This is great content right here.
Yeah,
this is
we'll have a long pause. We'll put a little.
That's how good it was.
Telephone. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk a little
into something else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Back.
Thoughts back. I'm a great podcaster. Trav.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy Niagara Falls?
Oh, it was good. It was really cool. I don't know if it was the. I don't know if it's a placebo or not, but I was told that the falls itself are supposed to distribute negative ions, and these negative ions are supposed to make you uplifted and feel good and feel better when you're just in the vicinity of it. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I felt it.
Okay.
I like the whole, like, my cousin wanted to go, and like me being from New York, I've been there twice already. I don't want to go, but you know what? I'll go because she wants to go. Mm-hmm. And it's a big drive, obviously 6 hours, 34 minutes. So I was thinking about that, but I was like, you know what? Whatever. I jump up and go places. Let me go. And I go, and we get there, and I'm like there with I'm doing the whole standing there like an uncle with my hands on my waist. I'm like, huh. Yeah.
This is Niagara Falls.
This is not, yes, I did. I said that exact thing. I think it was different because of me being like 30 now, like I was like, this is Niagara Falls.
We're getting that age where like that stuff doesn't impress us anymore.
Just hands on your hips, nodding your head, like, yeah.
This is it.
This is it. I enjoyed it. Like I was like, no, I was like, and I took pictures and whatever. I made like a little montage on Instagram story, whoever saw it, and it was dope. I very much loved it. I think I enjoyed it more in my older age, and I don't think I really understood what greatness I was amongst when I was younger. So I encourage everybody to go.
I went when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 10 or somewhere around there, and I would definitely like to go back and like see it as an adult too, to kind of get
the negative ions.
It's actually cool. We get a little bit of a history lesson.
It's one of those like great wonders of the world. If you're a person who's in New York and you've never seen Niagara Falls, like take the trip. It's worth it.
Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Pictures don't do it justice.
Thanks for calling me out.
You have to see this type of thing for your own eyes.
For sure.
Thanks for calling me out.
Yeah, well, you suck, bro. Take the trip.
I gotta go there. I definitely got to. The most I've been up to is Rochester.
It's just like you feel the mist too hitting you. It's just refreshing, especially right now. And like as hot as it is.
Did they do like the boat rides like down below the falls? Or were those closed?
They did the boat ride. I wasn't gonna do the boat ride because that thing,
right?
I'm not trying to play around with this virus. But I think my cousin's like, I'm not gonna come back here for some time, so let me do the boat ride. And so she had a blast with that. She's quarantining now, so she went back to California and she's quarantining as she should. So that's good. But I wasn't gonna get on that boat. No.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Kels is logging off. He's leaving. We're gonna get play-by-play. All right, Kels has left the chat. All right, his mic is on. His camera's on.
If we see a ghost, then
that would be some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Should I?
What are you editing with?
Like audio editor?
Yeah.
Adobe Premiere.
Okay. Yeah, so you could just clip this right and put it back.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. There's like a vacuum, so I don't know.
I don't hear it.
Okay, so we'll just keep going with. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
I think Discord is pretty good with that too.
You put some. All right.
Or your headphones are really good. Your mic is probably really good then.
Yeah.
So, Trav, do you follow sports at all?
I follow a good amount of sports. Not as much as everybody else does, but I'm gonna rep my city regardless. So I'm always gonna have my Knicks hat on.
There you go.
I was gonna say
That's
the one thing we kind of brought it up last week, and it was like speculation, but now this week is that we have Tom Thibodeau as the New York Knicks' new head coach.
Yep. I don't have any thoughts yet until I see what I honestly believe you need to wait and see exactly what happens first before making any type of judgment. So like we need the season to go on and follow through. And on top of that, like let's not even like that's news. That's cool. But that's not what I would talk about in terms of like what's going on with New York Knicks. And we have to remember that the whole reason we never got to me, I feel like we never got like that great team that we could get is because the seats were always still filled.
Mm-hmm.
Now that there's this pandemic happening, there's a possibility now that we may be able to get the players we want because we're not going to be making that money that we were always making. And it was like, oh, we're still filling the seats, so there's no reason to really try to win games. I think that's honestly what was going on with the New York Knicks. I hope I'm not killed for that, saying that, but I honestly believe that's the truth.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
And I've probably been to 6 or 7 Knicks games over. I haven't been to ones in the past couple of years.
No.
But
they tend to be sold out.
Times.
They tend to be sold out.
Oh, dude! Every time, and because I'm on a budget, we would buy the tickets when they're playing the Kings, and the Kings were the worst team in the West Coast, so it was a cheap game,
right.
And so we would go, and I'm there, I want to see Melo, I want to see Amari Stoudemire, I'm there to see my team,
mm-hmm.
And but like you said, the place is still sold out, and it's a throwaway game.
Yeah, because of the the tourists come in, they're gonna buy a ticket because that's the New York thing to do.
It's the Mecca,
and
people want to be there.
Yeah, so you, again, part of the reason to get a good team is to make money. But if you're already making money, what's the point?
It's not hitting James Dolan pocket, so
exactly,
he doesn't care. He's still making the money.
Exactly.
They just released the I think they do it every year, the most valuable sports franchises, and the Knicks are still towards. I don't think they're the top, but they're in the top part
3
of the list.
And it's wild.
What we win 10 games last year?
Exactly, and that's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. We just need a better foundation. Because come on now,
The part about this hiring with Tom Thibodeau is, one, I like him because he preaches defense. So, they say defense wins championships, so on and so forth. But the one part that I like is that
Say it.
He is somehow incorporating Mike Woodson
Yes, he's
into
back.
his staff.
He's back.
And Mike Woodson was one of my favorite
Yep.
Knick coaches. And the last time we made the playoffs was when Mike Woodson was coach. And we went 54-28 in the 2012-2013 season. Before that, we didn't make the playoffs since like 97.
The beard is back.
I'm so happy. Like I don't know what his role is. I'm just happy that he's involved.
Yeah.
Right. Which I didn't know you could. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what his role is, and I didn't even like somebody coming back after like getting let go. Is like it's like very interesting to see. So I want to know what his role is going to be.
It's kind of cool because they all have that New York connection now, being that Tibbs used to be an assistant with Jeff Van Gundy and everything. So it's like coming full circle. And obviously everyone releases like the statement once they get hired by somebody that like, oh, this is a place I want to be kind of thing. But
Could you imagine it, let's say in a perfect world, somewhere down the line, 2-3 years down the line, the Knicks can possibly win a championship. Could you imagine the parade would be like in New York City?
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be insane.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy, pandemic or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, man.
It's a long time coming. Like I have those. It's so I have my teams are usually, so again, I bleed New York, so it's going to be a New York team regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose the Knicks. I mean, I loved the Nets when the Nets were in Jersey, but now that they're here, it's like I can't love them anymore because they're not. It's not that foreign team because my team is going to be my New York Knicks. I also have that off team that I like watching, and then I have my team in general. So I'm not gonna. Nets are there. That's cool. If they win, whatever, that's great for New York. But Knicks is my team. So I have Knicks. Then I have the Mets again. Like Yankees they're taking it 10 all the time for New York. So I would love to see my Mets win. Thank God I'm not a Jets fan. I'm a Giants fan. So.
Oh, there we are. We flip-flopped on those. So you've seen some championships with the Giants.
With the Giants,
some championships with the Yankees. But if we could flip that, then get the Jets like just one. That's the same way we're feeling.
Depression with the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Rangers too. So so I enjoy those teams. So I'm lucky. I would look forward to. I'm hoping for Mets, and again, like I said, this is maybe an opportunity for the Knicks now that the seats are not the end all be all of what needs to be done for us to just have better players.
I will say though, like as of last year, I thought it was a good thing that like a step in the right direction. Instead of just throwing money randomly at somebody, they just picked a bunch of people on like 2-year contracts with I think it was a team option. Where in the past it would be like, let me just find somebody and throw all of our money at it.
Yeah.
And then we're locked in for that long, and then the player might not work out, and then we're stuck with that. And for me, this was a good like starting point because there's a bunch of and I think it's 2021 where a lot of people become free agents, where we can start to slowly rebuild. Plus, with some of the pieces that we already have, hopefully we can mold that into the right.
A real rebuild, because we've been talking about rebuilding for so long.
Every year it's a rebuild. Every year.
But also, I mean, like, go figure our luck. The 1 year, obviously the Knicks aren't in the bubble or in the playoffs, so they're going to get a lottery pick, and it's possible that it's a top 3 again.
Yeah. And
you have very little footage of any college players because the season was canceled mid pandemic. You know,
that's something to talk about too, man.
You don't see how
goals gone.
Yeah,
due to a virus. Like you
and
graduated without being seen on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what do you when they talk about having a plan B?
Yeah, for real. This is like the stepping stone to show like you might need something else.
Legit. Your dreams are gone.
All your whole life working at this one moment, and it's like you don't get to be seen now.
You don't get to be seen.
That March Madness makes players.
Oh yeah, they talk about it all the time. When Steph Curry was at Davidson, he was like not high on the draft boards for a lot of people, but then March Madness comes around and he goes nuts, and then everyone's like, hold the phone.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is something different, you know?
Under the bright lights, people shine. So that's what really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Imagine being that college athlete. And like, I mean, for example, it didn't affect him, but like Joe Burrow was the quarterback of LSU, and he really wasn't a great college player until he got to his senior year. Now, luckily, football was able to play theirs out. He got drafted. But if, let's say, it's the same type of thing where you've been working and working and working, and finally you're a senior, and it finally clicks, and you've put it all together, and you're ready to go. Boom, it's all shut down. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Unless they're gonna, which wouldn't be something terrible, but like further down the line, maybe. I mean, we don't know how long this is gonna last.
Yeah,
but if they do like tryouts, you know, maybe that's something to think about.
I mean, so far the NBA bubble has been working, and that's the only thing that I've seen as far as sporting events that has worked, because you have to be in a place where everyone is secluded.
Yeah.
Baseball, you see, it's running rampant right now.
Yeah.
I think baseball is going to get shut down.
I think so too.
I'm not wishing it. I just think that it is.
No, just too many players are testing positive. And if you have to quarantine a whole team, how are you going to mix the schedule? Like, the schedule is kind of going to be like whoever plays the next day.
It's like you were thinking about injuries. Now you're thinking about COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, see here that my sprained ankle can't come home and kill my mother-in-law. That's the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
But nationally wise, football is still going on, aka soccer. So.
Yeah. I mean,
if that's
hopefully,
are you a big soccer fan?
It stays.
I do enjoy Arsenal, watching Arsenal.
Yeah.
For
I was gonna say, who's your team is Arsenal?
Yeah, for sure. I if it's not New York, it's gonna be England. It's gonna be London. So like that's like my home away from home. Because if you guys remember, I'm from the Caribbean, so like I still rep everything Anguilla, but Anguilla's that doesn't have like sports and stuff like that. So like London is like, I mean, obviously Tokyo, but London in terms of like English speaking, I enjoy that place. And if it comes down to that, Arsenal's like definitely top. I freaking enjoy London. I love that place.
Have you been there?
Oh my god, yeah, man. Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my god, I was there in I think it was 2016, and I was there. Again, I just get up and go, so I didn't even know where I was going to be staying at.
And good for you.
Yeah.
No, seriously,
you just risk and let me just go for it. That's cool.
A lot of people they wouldn't have the. I don't want to say the balls because it's not the right word,
right.
But like they wouldn't take that leap. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do it. You know, I only live once. I'm gonna do it.
I legit was like, "Hey, Mom, do we have any family here?" Like the day of the plane, the day of
the day you're getting on the plane to go over there.
I'm getting people off.
Random question, Mom, but we got any family over there?
I'm not saying that I have a place to stay or I don't have a place to stay, but if there was one available, I might be able to use it. You know?
Word, yeah. Alicia was in, Strangers of Candy. She was in Germany. She was staying in Germany for quite some time. And she lets me know that, like, she has an uncle there. And if I, just go there and she's going to hook me up. So, like, again, shout outs to Alicia again. You know what I'm saying? So, I kicked it with her family. And her family's from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a great time, man. Like, just it's exactly like New York City. And like, you're taking the bus, you're taking the train. I mean, they called it tube. So you're taking the tube, and we call the train underground train, whatever. And
subway, yeah.
It's the exact same thing, except they don't like it to be too loud on the tube. So like if you hear, like, the music that you may hear on the train or whatever, somebody's playing loud music. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even talk loud. Like, they'll look at you strange if you do. Yeah.
That's a polar opposite from a crackhead going crazy on a New York City subway.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's actually funny that you say about traveling, because I've for the last 10 years, I feel like I've been like, yo, I'm going to get my passport this year. I got my passport in March.
Oh, my God.
Then this all happened. So I was like, I mean, out of all things, like, it's not like a huge, like, hassle for me, because obviously there's a lot of other things going on that take more weight in the world. Yeah. But I was just like, this would be the time that I get a passport.
Have you guys? What was I gonna ask now? No, I totally forgot my thought too. Look at
I'm not alone.
that.
I want to say, I have a friend who lived over in England for a little bit, and he came back home. He lives here now, but he said one of the things that he misses is the tea. He loved the tea over there.
Tea is amazing. The tea is amazing there. The thing that I dislike the most about England, I would say, is their portion. They do not like. That's probably why everybody over there is slim, because I found myself ordering twice because they did not give me enough food, and it sucked because I don't know how much stuff is now. I think the prices went down in terms of like the dollar and the pound and stuff like that. Everything with Brexit, but when I was there, it cost more than the dollar, so I was paying. Right. I was buying 2 portions of food, but it felt like I was paying for four portions of food because of the fact that like
the currency exchange.
I still think it's a little bit. I still think it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I didn't. But I didn't. No mementos. Like there was no. Like I usually like when I go to California. Like I buy like let me get this. This is a hat. Let me
get this mug.
Yeah, nah. I brought back home the money that I had, the pounds. That was my memento.
There's no price you can put on memories. If you were ordering twice food over there, Chris, never go to England because
I'd be ordering
you're gonna go
10
broke
times.
in one meal.
Yeah, just keep it coming. Do they have buffets? That's I would have to find that out.
I saw any buffets, man. I didn't see that. Like,
this is something I need to know.
It's crazy.
You are a pig. I know. If that's the question you go for. Is there a buffet?
It's a problem. Man. I disgust myself.
You disgust me.
I disgust myself.
No, you would have a problem over there, Chris. You would have legit. Like it. I was hungry. I was hungry.
You would have to get a job.
Yeah. So I went to England for a little bit of a vacation, and truth be and I ended up with a job.
Because I couldn't feed myself.
I couldn't feed myself on what I had. I budgeted, but it wasn't enough.
That's crazy. How long did you go for?
I was there for probably I wanted to say 3 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome. A good stay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Because I had family there too. I wanted to see them, but I didn't realize how far other places would be from London, so I couldn't make it to Binghamton. That's where I was gonna go because I heard that was 3 hours away on the train or something like that, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just gonna kick it here in London.
That's awesome.
I met Mos Def out there too. He did
what?
comedy.
No way.
Yeah, random. It was
really?
So random.
Out of all the people who just go to
random.
Mos Def comedy.
Oh show. My God! I was there. I went to. It was just one of those things. Alicia's letting me because she came. She was there. I'm meeting all these people who happen to be doing maybe something with Strangers to Candy or maybe working with I met a good amount of people. She knows her people, and we're there. We're eating. We're talking it up. And next thing you know, we're about to leave, but then I hear they're like, oh, and we have a special thing for you today. Mos Def is going to be doing stand-up comedy. And we were all like, oh, let's kick it, let's stay, And I was like, let's stay because they're from there, so they're not trying to really hear Mos Def like that. But Alicia's from New York originally, and I'm like, Alicia, we gotta see Mos Def. She's like, all right. So we stick around for Mos Def, and no one was getting his jokes because they were all New York jokes. So nobody was really laughing except for me. And I was like, ah!
And everybody turns around staring at you.
Just started looking at me. And then the Mos Def was like, he gets it.
That guy's from New York.
Yeah. And it was funny because he was like, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. And I was like, BX. And then he's like, oh, that guy's from the Bronx. Yo, guys, be careful. He might shank you. He started using me in his bit.
Right.
So after the show ends, I go up to him. And I'm telling him what worked and what didn't work, And we just chatted it up a little bit, And that was it. It was a quick talk. Yeah, cheers to each other, and that was it. Nobody knew him like that. So he was just at the bar by himself, kicking it. I was like, "What's up, Mos Def?"
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually funny because we have a similar story like that where J. Cole performed at St. John's when I was there the first year. Mm-hmm. So Steve came and he wanted to see the the show, so one of us got a ticket for him, and he's literally sitting outside of Marillac, which was our dining hall, and like nobody really knew who he was at that point. So our one friend came to us and was like, "Yo, J. Cole's like literally just outside, like nobody's paying him any attention." So we went over there to him and started hanging out and just like dapped him up and like had a quick convo and stuff, and then finally like there was some cameras on him and everything, and then like more of a crowd came.
Yeah.
But it was just like a weird, like nobody knew.
Well, I got a little beef with J. Cole, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Go on.
I met J. Cole in Anguilla, man. He ate at my cousin's restaurant. It's not a serious beef. If he ever listens to his J. Cole, I love you, bro. I listen to your music all the time. However, you're going to remember me when I tell this story. You're going to be like, oh, that was that. So, so I'm at the bar, my cousin's bar. This is my cousin's establishment.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about J. Cole like that, especially the older folks. So, like, me and the younger folks know about him, but, like, they were all away. And I'm on...
What's the year of this this story happens? Like, is this J. Cole with like a fade, or does J. Cole have dreads? Like, because as his dreads get longer, he gets more popular.
J. Cole with like the fro, like he's growing his hair out. J. Cole, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, he's popular at this point for sure.
Okay.
He's put out a couple of numbers, and he even used my friends. I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
So I'm there. I'm like, nah, it's not J. Cole. I saw him come in. They sit down. They're eating or whatever. I'm like, that's not J. Cole. And I'm looking at pictures with the little Wi-Fi that I have because Anguilla's terrible with their freaking stuff, and I don't have my internet. And I'm like, come on, load to make sure. Oh, snap, that is J. Cole. So J. Cole finishes eating, comes over to the counter. He's paying for his food and stuff like that with his wife, his girlfriend or whatever, his friend. So the entourage was like, I think it was like a couple and the bodyguard, so 5 in total. So he starts paying with his card. My cousin tells me to call J. Cole his cab. So I even called J. Cole's cab. You know what I'm saying? So I called his cab already. His cab is on the way. He's paying. And I'm like, hey. He looks at me. And I'm like, you're J. Cole. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you're like one of the dopest rappers out there. He goes, appreciate it. And when we're exchanging, like the bodyguard and everybody else, his entourage is looking at me and then looking at him as we were exchanging words. And then after he said appreciate it, he turned away. Now, I don't know if you guys remember me, but I don't know. It's not an ego, but it's like, what? J. Cole, come on, what's up with that, bro? Like, you dismissed me, bro. I felt that. And, people go against me with this thought. That's fine. But I felt dismissed because I got to talk about so many things. We could have talked about how Hofstra is neighbors with St. John's. Like, we partied at each other's freaking places. We could have talked about the fact that he shot a music video at my friend's house in Long Island. Mm-hmm. His mom played J. Cole's mom for the music video. So, like, there was so many things we could have conversed about, but I just felt like it was cut short. And I'm Travis Proctor, man. Like, what? You know? So, it's not a real beef, but it's like, damn, son, we could have really had a cool conversation. And I got your cat, man. Like, you serious? He eating at my cousin's restaurant right now, bro.
He should have tipped you.
But not much love to J. Cole though. Like I said, I was just joking. But when I do see him, I'm gonna bring that up.
You're gonna have chop it up for real, and then
chop it up for real, man. Yeah. Well, that's my thing with J. Cole. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How many times you been to Anguilla?
I go there often. That's
yeah.
That's the family I connected with most. My dad's Jamaican. I've never been to Jamaica, but I've been going to Anguilla since I was a baby. My mother's been bringing me over there, often. So she's there now. I think it's the safest place for her, especially, But like, I go there pretty much like every other year, but I haven't been going there as much as an adult because of work and time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and wanting to go to places too. That's another thing. So,
what's that, like a 3-hour plane ride?
It's 3 hours to either St. Martin or Puerto Rico, and then you could either take like a little plane from Puerto Rico, or you could take a boat from St. Martin.
Okay.
Yeah. It's dope. I think the last time I was there was actually 2017, 2018. So it's been like 2 years, 2 or 3 years now. So I need to go back ASAP.
Yeah, that part of the world is amazing.
Yeah, Love the Caribbean.
That's dope. Yeah, I got
Trav, you on
actually.
TikTok?
God no, man. God, God. But the most beautiful women are on TikTok, though. I've noticed that for some reason. And they're
Let me tell
educated.
you.
It's crazy.
Shoot your shot.
It's crazy. I have no friends, or acquaintances, whatever people like to say. I like to say friends because if we interact enough. But I know people who like have their degrees and their whatever, and they're on TikTok, and they're just like doing these dances, and I'm like, damn, you bad. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just like leave it at that. I don't, because I'm not on TikTok, so I can't even comment on TikTok. But they upload their TikTok videos onto Twitter or Instagram.
And that's where you.
Right.
That's
And-
where you.
yeah,
That's where
that's-
you.
Yeah, that's where I admire.
You're
That's
on
where
Twitter
Travis
heavy.
shines.
That's where I see the most of your
Yeah.
yeah.
online activity. Yeah.
I always got some shit to say. I always have some shit to say, man. It's like to me, Twitter is a form of art. I don't think people realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not writing, which is like what I love to do in general, whether it's copy editing or writing my own stuff, if I'm not writing, for saying something verbally is me giving out content, or putting something on Twitter is me writing, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is something that whatever I say on Twitter or whatever like I'm saying right now in this podcast is something that I'd probably write in like a screenplay, or adapt it to whatever I can. So if I put something out on Twitter, people are like, oh my God, are you being serious or are you joking? And I'm like, whether I'm joking or not, the words are true. You know what I'm saying? And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's similar to like Drake. I don't think Drake raps about everything pertaining to him. I think he's or saying something, putting out music pertaining to him. I think it's music that people can relate to in general.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
And there's something to. I mean, I feel like in hip hop, a lot of the times, like but just like hip hop and rap, kind of like the content is always portrayed as like my life experience is what I've done. Like this is whereas other songwriting, whatever genre it may be, there's a lot of the times that they'll sing a song that somebody else wrote for them, but because it connects with so many other people, they sing the song,
Right.
Where Drake is a brilliant songwriter, where he may be smart enough to just like, hey, like this, like you said, might not be his exact experience, but I know this millions of people will get what this is saying, and so I'm gonna make that song.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That is the truth. And it's great that we're talking about music because like I don't know if you guys seen it, but what I think the CEO of Spotify said, like in terms of like how much these people make for music, and I wish more people had Tidal. This Tidal should probably hire me now, but like they make so much more money on Tidal than they do.
Oh yeah,
in Spotify and Apple. The guy said, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but something along the lines like, if they want to make more money, they have to put more content out. What?
Mm-hmm.
That is the most tone deaf thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's ridiculous.
Especially now, during this pandemic. Like it's not easy to just do a show. I think Kalani did a show where, like everybody was in their cars and separated in their cars and stuff like that. But, concerts are not something you could do right now. So what are you talking about right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, this goes right back to, and I don't know, I was talking to Chris about this, but I don't know if I talked to you about this, Steve, but or if you watched or heard Nick Cannon, what he was talking about with Professor Griff. I'm not going to bring up everything that they were talking about with like Farrakhan and all that stuff. Let's leave that alone. The honest truth, though, that they did say, and whatever I say, Chris and Steve don't believe what I'm saying or whatever. I don't want you guys to get hurt what I'm saying because I remember other people get hurt whatever other people say. So this is specifically coming from me, Travis Proctor Goose. What they said pertaining to like the industry and who holds the quote unquote power are predominantly, Jewish people. And if they're not Jewish, they're white. And it's interesting because like the money that is received to these artists are barely anything at all. And everybody loves rap. Like that. Like, let's just stop right there. Everyone loves rap, and these artists make their money from. They make it from concerts because they can't make it from these record labels. Mm-hmm. That's the honest truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Nick Cannon got shut down so quick. So,
and that's not a new topic. I mean, I was just during the quarantine, I started watching Sopranos for the first time ever. But there's a episode specifically in The Sopranos where there's a character and his name is Hesh, and he's a old Jewish white man who owned like the masters to a lot of records. And there's an episode where a rapper comes to Hesh and says, "Hey, listen, you didn't write the song, you didn't perform the song, yet you're making most of the money off of this. Like, you owe us. I forget if it was like his cousin or his uncle. I forget what the relation was to the character. Yeah. Irrelevant though. But he's like, you owe basically my family my cut of the check that's been made off of that record.
Right.
And that The Sopranos was made in like, probably the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So this is not a new
not at all
subject.
Not
at all.
If you go back to the NWA movie, that also had a little bit of topic related to that, where it's like the main guy who signed everybody was like making all this money, and they had like a falling out because there was like, you're not making what you should kind of thing. And I don't know how much it was in regards to, like, I don't know if they changed anything for the screen, but I'm sure it was pretty spot on. That's just me.
Yeah. And that's the reason why Professor Griff now is like enemy number one. It's so funny because like they're Public Enemy, well, he was a part of the Public Enemy, but he's like enemy number one of the Jewish people, And then it's because of what he said in 1988 and how they published it. So that part right there is not false. It's the honest truth. I think I said something like, and again, this goes back to like content. I think I said something along the lines like, whether it was Twitter or Instagram, that it's so interesting that money is made from the culture, but the people who provide the culture are not making the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very true.
And that goes into a lot of different things too.
Yeah,
it's not just rap or hip hop.
It's funny you bring this up because I saw this tweet the other day because Tidal was trending like 2 days ago on Twitter or whatever. But someone named Triz on Twitter put out, for 100,000 streams, Spotify pays $400. Apple pays $600. Tidal pays $2,800 for 100,000 streams. So Spotify pays the least.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, none of y'all fuck with Tidal. It's either Spotify or Apple Music. Laugh out loud. The black businesses pay more and gets the least amount of love. Shake my head.
Yeah. True. It's funny because I actually started like during that like the time period, you always get like a free trial kind of thing, and I started at Tidal, and I definitely remember a lot of people like, "Oh, you're on Tidal? What? Why?" And it's just like people will rag on you for like doing something that's different.
Exactly.
And as far as those three, I obviously right now I'm on Apple Music, and I like Tidal a lot, and I got so embedded with Apple Music that I just switched to Spotify for a little bit, and I just hated it. I couldn't do it.
The only reason I have Spotify, I have a number. I have Tidal, I have Spotify. I don't have Apple Music. The only reason I have Spotify is because it's easier to make playlists, and I've been trying to do this new thing where like, making playlists in like this in an art form way, like putting the right songs in there so that way it's making a statement and stuff like that, and then adding my own cover to it. So, that's the only reason. Now, I might go away from it and join up with like stuff like AudioMac, one of the streaming services that people don't really know, and still like distribute the playlist like that, because AudioMac allows you to adapt your own cover. I don't think I was able to do that with Tidal, so that's the reason. And again, a lot of people don't have Tidal, so like it just didn't make sense to make playlists and send them out to people with Tidal. You could put the music on there, but it didn't make sense, putting the cover on there. So,
right.
But Spotify, that's the only reason. But besides that, it's like, I'm not trying to really give you my money like that, man. I'm really not trying to give Spotify my money. I might close my account. I have 3 months, and once August 14th comes around, shutting that thing down, most likely. We'll see.
So, going back to this tweet, somebody commented and said, the more users a streaming service has, the less they pay per 100,000 streams. If we all switch to Tidal, they will pay less per stream. It's incredibly simple, just the way you think. So they're saying because there's more people on Spotify, it's they pay less. Tidal pays more because there's less artists. So then, whoever runs Tidal's Twitter account said Tidal's royalty rate does not depend on the number of users that use the service, and we do have a strong emphasis on making sure we pay fair royalty share to license holders. So basically negated whatever that guy was saying.
Shut that down.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we have one artist on Tidal or if we have 100,000. We're paying the same amount of royalties per song, regardless. You know.
Shut that down, man. And you got to remember who's behind Tidal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Tidal, I instantly think of Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
He gonna pay. He gonna pay his
I don't know
artists, man. He gonna pay his artists. Like, come on now.
I don't know if he's the sole owner or if he's like a co-owner. But I just know that I think Tidal is Jay-Z's brand.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. In general. Yeah. I'm not looking for the CEOs or whoever for Spotify, and I'm at this point really don't care too much. So, Spotify is it. That I don't even know what made them say that. If that is the craziest thing, if you want to make more money, put out more music. What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, specifically, it's so stupid. I know it's a different day and age and it's a different system, but off the top of my head, the one artist I could think of is 50 Cent made one album, and that one album he didn't need to make more music.
Right.
It was Get Rich or Die Trying, just shot up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And made a classic album. And what would it be like in today's day and age? Like you're saying now, he just has to keep pumping out music to
Exactly.
make a living as an artist.
Exactly. And you wouldn't dare say that to 50 Cent.
No.
Right. And I used to intern at Def Jam. I interned there for a year and a half, and I used to kind of really kind of be into like the music, this whole music business thing. And I haven't looked into it in a while, but like you touched on it before, they used to say back in the day, they used to offer these, and I don't know if they still do now, but they were called 360 deal. So, you get your signing bonus, you get a bonus off of or whatever, 0.1 cent off of the sale of a record or an iTunes purchase. And then but it's a 360 deal. So then the label would then book your tour. So they'd say, hey, listen, it's all taken care of. We'll tell you when and where you got to be. We'll get you the tour bus or whatever. You go on tour and you're going to make money.
Yeah.
But the problem was that they were taking a bigger cut of that. If you were just to, not sign that and then do the tour on your own, all right, you say, you know what? I want to keep my masters, right? If you signed a deal, somehow you could negotiate it with. I keep my masters. You get you can take the majority of what's sold off of every album purchase and every, iTunes purchase. But then you book your own tour and somehow you can, find the way to navigate that and make your own tour. That's where you're going to make a lot of your money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I think the one person who I've always seen and always preach that was Russ, where he has his. I think he might have had a deal with somebody, but it was like a 50-50 cut, so it was like more of a partnership. But he's always about like own your own shit, and there's a lot of other artists too who now, because I think you can kind of create a little bit more freely, and it's not like you need this with the whole independent scene. You don't necessarily need the record industry as it was.
Right.
A lot of things have kind of changed with the explosion of the internet and streaming. So, you can put stuff on SoundCloud. It's not necessarily going to go and blow up overnight, or who knows, maybe it will, kind of thing, But like if you're owning it yourself, you're paying yourself. You're putting your
but how many people have we actually seen? And I'm not trying to I feel like now I'm about to contradict myself.
Okay.
How many people have we truly seen making it like thoroughly big from not adapting onto a record label? Like, okay, so we have Chance the Rapper, right? And we have Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace,
Okay.
Nipsey.
Chance was independent?
Independent, yeah.
He is? Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, Chance is independent,
Yeah.
and Nipsey Hussle was independent.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do we know that's independent, but like up there? Because those names are up there.
I mean, for a while,
the one artist I know that. Sorry, Kels, not to cut you off.
we might be saying the same one. So go.
I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, and he's not the biggest artist in the world, but he's a known name. But Macklemore,
Yep, that's what I was gonna go
is
with.
independent.
Macklemore. I forget if Logic is. Right?
Is he?
Or is he under?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's another story.
I can't remember exactly. Oh God. But I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, Russ has a lot of his catalog for himself too. And he does like the mixing, mastering, producing, writing, all of it himself, because he makes it known that he says that on every song, or most every song.
I think Wale would have done better if he was independent. That's just me
Dude,
saying.
Wale doesn't get enough credit.
He doesn't. And I think he would have done better if he. Nothing against like Rick Ross. I love Rick Ross. I love the whole team. But I think for Wale's persona, it would be more enjoyed and more sought after if he was independent. Maybe. You know, I don't want Wale to hear this and be like, "Oh, he's just talking shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about." I don't, but I'm just like putting out a possibility.
An opinion,
yeah. Because I don't know, like his music is real. I feel like those people who are independent tend to put out more conscious music. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, maybe just stuff that's more in tune with who they are.
Right.
Because there's not somebody overlooking you and being like, "Yo, you need a hit," and that's kind of like what J. Cole talked about, where like Jay-Z, like there was a pressure, like I need this hit. I forget which song he was mentioning about that, but it was like, I think it was like Let Nas Down, because there was a lot of pressure for him to get this hit, and then he puts this hit out, and then like Nas is like, "Yo, I don't like this," and then that whole
Logic is signed to Def Jam.
He is. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's quote unquote retired.
Yeah. Well, did you want to say something about Logic? Because you seemed.
Yeah. Look, I am all about getting teary eyed.
Oh, okay. About that.
I love a good cry.
Yeah.
Even Ebro respected it. But he's our age. I don't know why he's stepping down. If he feels the need, that's fine. Okay. That's his prerogative. But then he went on to say, and I don't know if Complex Magazine is misquoting him, but what they had on there was Complex said, that a big part of his depression, he's in quotations, a big part of his depression was Joe Budden. And how Joe Budden spoke about his music.
Really?
Yeah. And I think that's, again, I love you, Logic. You from Maryland, man. You hard body, man. I don't know, like what happened? Like that just like it took away from me. Like all that I have. It didn't take everything, but like I love Logic and I love his music. And honestly, and it's so interesting that both him and Wale have this "Am I good enough?" and they're both from the same area.
Same area.
Yeah. Is that like a Maryland thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's interesting. I want to know what Joe Budden said now.
Oh, Joe Budden ripped him apart. Joe Budden would say stuff like Logic is not a great rapper. He should just stop rapping.
Was this on Joe Budden's podcast?
It was on Joe Budden's podcast. And he said it, I think he even said it on before that. What was the show that Joe Budden got kicked off of or whatever?
With Whackademics?
Yeah.
The show on Complex. I forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Was that Everyday Struggle?
Is it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. So Joe Budden has said that multiple times, So like, but it's Joe Budden. Like Joe Budden talks his crap, and he would say himself, "I talk my crap. Like I just talk my shit." He
talks about everybody.
He does.
Yeah, I think one of the quotes.
He called out Eminem. He had beef with Wu-Tang Clan. Like he has had problems with everyone.
It's Joe Budden. You know what I'm saying?
His quote is, "He doesn't like me for whatever reason. He wants to say I'm not black enough. I'm not good enough. He's a person who's led to part of my deepest depression, or part of my depression, some of my darkest spaces. Bro, your words, they make people want to kill themselves, bro."
Oh, God. Logic? What do you guys think about that? Because I think that's, come on. That's a little bit, you went too far.
It kind of makes me think that he maybe at one point held Joe Budden to a certain, like he respected or like valued what Joe Budden thought about hip hop and music. So the fact that it cutting him that deep makes me think that maybe he was a fan of him, or like he looked up, like maybe not Joe as a person, but Joe like the craft of like being a rapper, he respected a lot. And then for just someone to hear that, they're like, wow, like I thought I was,
the only thing I could
say I was killing it, and this guy thinks I'm trash.
To play devil's advocate was the story you talked about with J. Cole earlier, how that little bit kind of like rubbed you the wrong way. That's the only thing I can say to kind of like put it into perspective. But he also talked a lot about on the album about how like he's somebody, or even in that speech, like he's somebody who was going on the internet and always like looking at comments and stuff. And I think that also, from what he said, fueled his depression, because you're always seeing people who are critiquing you the certain way. And if you go on the internet long enough and you're in the public eye, you're always gonna have the people who hate on you, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's like this the mentality of like, you know, memes and everything. Like you could win something and get memed, or you can lose something, or you can cry and get like become a meme. Like there's no set like parameter like, all right, this is what happened, like this is great, we're not gonna do it to this, in a sense, if that makes any sense.
No, I get you.
It's like,
I get what you're saying. I understand your devil's advocate. Let me just say this again.
Okay. I know you have no.
Yeah, I was just say that I have nothing with Cole. I love Cole. It was more, you know, on the joking, but I get what you're saying.
No, but yeah, there's like certain instances where like maybe somebody's having a bad day and like you go up to them and that experience isn't the one, and then from now on you're like, fuck that guy, I have this grudge against him now.
In general, right? I get what you're saying. Right,
but if you're like, I mean, and then to like talk about Joe, like he goes at everybody. Like he's somebody who's not gonna hold his tongue on really anything.
Nothing.
Like
nothing. And you got to remember who Joe Budden is. Like his music.
That's why he's so divisive.
Yeah.
Or he is, you love him or you hate him. I feel like with most people.
Yeah.
You know.
And great artist too. He was also a great artist and is. I don't know if he's still putting out music, but
no, he retired.
People don't really. Joe Budden's rap, man.
And I feel like that's the same thing with like a lot of. I mean, I don't know if you want to. I mean, he had with Slaughterhouse and Eminem and everything, but like it's still like Slaughterhouse didn't like jump to where it should have, and I feel like Joe Budden also didn't jump to where he could have, like in like mainstream. You know, obviously you want the people who are that artists that have the hits and stuff like that, but when you have Pump It Up and then all this other and I think one reason why I like him so much too, and it's not like I'm depressed or anything, but he talks about like real like content. And that's kind of what you spoke on earlier, how like, and you know, some of the content. Well, he's not independent, so that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, moving on. What you're saying.
Yeah. No, well, all right, but at the same time, I can't blame a person for my depression.
No, yeah. It's kind of on you.
Yeah.
It's how you take. I mean, the message is received a certain way. It's on like somebody can say something, but it's on you, the receiver, and how you interpret it and kind of how it affects you.
Yeah, but not even like saying like it's different between us having this conversation off when the mics are off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, J. Cole, man. You know, like that was crappy. If it was really crappy, I would never said it on this thing. What I'm saying is this. And I'm not trying to take away his depression or anything like that. No. I just wouldn't have brought it. I wouldn't have said it on Complex. Because, like, what are you saying it out loud for? Are you waiting for Joe Budden to give you an apology? And then to tell the industry that the organization that gave him the can. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
it kind of sounds like you want to say to him, like, bro, know who you are. You do not need his validation to prove who you are. Yeah. Like, bro.
And also
your fucking logic.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
If you want, like, you can probably find Joe Budden's number through somebody else and kind of go hash that out.
Exactly.
Whatever way without the public eye.
Not with,
because then you're gonna get more backlash, and it could fuel even more of a. But I think right now he's in a good space, and I mean, for me, I thought his new album was not as great as The Incredible True Story, but I liked it the most. Those are like my two favorite from him: the Incredible and then this one.
I love the period at the end. I think that was a great ending. That last track, much necessary and just beautiful period at the end. But here's the truth now. I don't know how true this was before, but now people are adapting the personality of an artist to whether they want to listen to their music or not.
Yeah.
So that you can have a lot of Logic fans who probably are no longer Logic fans because of what was said. It's the truth. Mm-hmm. It's not me. I still like Logic, but I saw a lot of, when you go down the tweets, you'll see, geez, man, why is he crying? Like, what? What's going on? Like, you serious? Like you're cute to people who ride with you, because even when Wale was saying certain stuff like, if I don't make it big this time, I'm gonna, that might be it for me. And then Charlamagne, he had to be like, yo, don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might lose some people, and that's just honest truth.
Yeah, and I think right now, I mean, depending on how you are as a person, if you're all right with that happening, and you're staying true to yourself, kind of thing, then I don't think it matters too much. Did we freeze? Did Steve? Oh, there he is. Steve, you just glitched.
Yo.
You almost froze.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby. I'm back. I glitched for a little bit. I'm back in it.
Freezing. Oh.
Is he?
I mean, we worked for a good hour.
Yeah. Probably gonna wrap
Am I still
it up
freezing?
soon. Right? You have to go, Steve? We could just cut this whole part out. Or you could leave it in. Who knows?
Can y'all hear me?
Nobody knows. It's
we
up
will
to
never
Steve
know until we...
Can you hear me, though?
Until we hear
from
the
him.
final.
Oh, he got cut.
He got cut, so...
Can you hear me now?
Let me see if he texts me.
I know we got to come back and do the final words. I think the last thing that we said... I mean, he's going to know how to...
chop it up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is... It's dope, though, so far.
It was good.
I always
this
enjoy
is a really good segment.
Your experiences, your words, your tweets. Your tweets always get me. I'm just like, yo, Trav's on something right now. Because I'll see like 3 or 4 like thirst traps, and I'm like, yes, go in. And you have like that aspect of where like you don't care on Twitter, where I'm like, I'll say like certain things, but there's like some photos that I'm just not gonna like because I don't want people to see it now. I'm just gonna look at it, go the other way.
I let it loose, man. I let it loose,
and I love it.
Yeah, I let it all loose. We may have to hang up and then come back.
Yo, you can.
I could hear you, Steve, but in and out.
Oh, he's gone again. I mean, besides that little bit, like Discord, I like how you could also like show each other's screens and stuff. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's good for like video editing and shit. I usually use like TeamViewer, but this is another option.
Well, I use Discord for we use it for the anime podcast that I'm on.
I was gonna say, because you've been doing a couple podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Do you still do the middleman, or is that?
We're gonna pick it back up, but
yeah, I definitely think you should, because it was funny because I think it was like last week when I know that we wanted to have you on. I went back and listened to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just the DC story had me dying.
Oh my god, man, that stripper. Oh, that was crazy. That was a crazy night.
That's a funny story.
Man, it was.
I feel like only they're out talking to somebody for like 4 hours, not even getting a dance. It's the funniest shit.
Not even getting a dance, bro.
It's the funniest shit.
Man. Oh man. I really thought she was gonna hit me up the next day, but hey, it didn't happen. Oh.
Everything happens for a reason.
Right. We might have to exit this and come back in.
All right, yeah. Let's see about that.
Hey, Steve here. Remember in the intro where I said my internet cut out? That's this part right here. Back to the podcast. I mean, for any conversation that I missed, and if you two were still talking, like towards the end of the Logic thing, I started going in and out.
Okay.
But if I'm still gonna keep whatever good content was there.
All right, listen, it's good. Go on.
Because I haven't stopped recording on my.
No, we didn't.
We didn't either.
So it's okay. Good. Yeah. It's gonna be all right. So before we close out, is there anything you wanna plug? I know you just said you had an anime podcast. Like what is that? Plug that.
So I got an anime podcast with my brother and 3 other of my good friends here from the Bronx. But we're stationed in different places now. Where we all grew up together, and we just talk about anime and what we love about anime and all the great things about anime. Whether we're talking about a specific show or we're just talking about our favorite segments in different shows, it's a good time. It's called the Hashira Podcast. So that's HASHIRA Shirama or something like that. Yeah, no, I'm spelling it wrong. I've been drinking. I'm sorry, but it's called Hashira. You can find it. Hashira podcast.
We'll tag it. We'll tag it.
We'll plug it for you.
Put it
Yeah. Do that for me because I can't spell first shit right now.
That's fine.
I'm easier with the kanji and instead of romanji. It's not easy for me. Like, it's weird how people could actually put words out in Japanese with the English language, with English letters. I'm not used to it because I studied it with the actual characters. So spelling it with the English letters just never does it correctly in my brain. It's so weird.
Doesn't correlate, yeah.
Yeah, I'm easy.
What's your favorite? I'll make this quick. What's your favorite anime? If you had to pick one, like, do you prefer the shows? Do you prefer the manga? Like, what is it?
I prefer shows over manga, but I still read mangas because I want to know what's going to happen. If I'm like very much
manga, okay.
Yeah.
I pronounced that wrong. You read those from back to front, right? As opposed to
yeah.
Am I remembering this correctly?
It's from right to left.
You're right. Yeah.
So, but I can't have a favorite. The same way I don't have a favorite film. Like, there's too much. If you love a specific thing, it's very difficult to. Except for rap, I think. No. And even with rap, I can't have like a favorite artist. Like, I have a top 10. But yeah, like an anime, like I've seen so many. Enough. Yeah, I've seen way too much to just bring it down. I have like the tops animes for anybody to watch. If you're like, oh, what's the best drama? I got it for you. What's the most gore? I got it.
All right, so give me 3. If someone's like, all right, I've been, let's say hypothetically, someone's like seen and they want to get into it.
Yeah.
Give me 3 that you would recommend to get into.
Okay, for sure. If you're just getting into it and you already know the mainstream ones, but you don't know the great ones that people really don't know about, Edwin's gonna hate me for this one if he listens to this podcast. Shout out to Edwin. So I'm gonna bring up Elfin Lied, 13 episodes, a quick watch. Monster, that's 76 episodes, and Code Geass. So that's about I want to say 48 episodes in total. Those 3. Yeah.
My brother used to be. I was a basic bitch. I only used to watch Dragon Ball Z I only used to watch Dragon Ball Z after school.
He is.
I would watch those 2. But my brother was into. He was more into it, and what's the one? I think it's a movie, but she rides like I think it's a woman who rides a red motorcycle. Akira, am I
Akira?
Correct here?
Yeah, he said a woman. That's a movie.
I don't know.
Steve, you're all over the place, bro.
Oh, Steve's canceled now.
Oh
man, I've offended so many people.
You probably have. That is like one of the top Neo Tokyo movies known to man. That like won awards.
You better literally just blank that whole section of you talking.
There's anniversaries for that movie.
Great.
Two
episodes deep and we're already done.
That I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I am just.
The sponsors.
This is from 16 years ago, from when I was 7 and my brother was 9. That I'm trying to remember this.
That's it, Steve. The sponsors are
so
gone.
I apologize if I was incorrect in any information.
All of it.
Akira is like our Total Recall here. That's basically like, it's like up there. It's like Judge Dredd. Yeah.
So let me go in and offend us and say, fuck Judge Dredd. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
That's funny. Yeah. Yes, I mean, I thought this was good. I enjoyed this.
Man, it was great. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, Trent.
It's always good to reconnect.
This is not a one-time thing. We want to have you back on.
Definitely,
for sure.
See where everyone's doing.
So I'm gonna say it again. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
And
yes, Black Lives Matter.
Shit needs to change for sure. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for being on here.
Thank you for taking the time. Yeah.
Peace.
That's it. 2 episodes and we're done. Everybody's canceling us. Sponsors have left.